Lady K, are you ready?
I know she ready.
Kiki, are you ready? Bayou Diva, let them know that you're ready.
It's Thursday night, they at it again. You got it locked into the ladies then. It's Lady K, Kiki too, plus the Bayou Diva. You know how they do. From breaking news to favorite foods. See what's poppin' in the city, hot topics too. Advice for your issues if you need to grab a tissue. Just wait till a break, they may say something that'll fit you. Amazing guests live on set. You can laugh to your heart's content. They appreciate the love cause it's truly a blessing. My name's Saga Boss and I approve this message.
Ain't no room for hating, enjoy the entertainment. You are locked in to the ladies' den. So there's no confusion, they love what they're doing. You are locked in to the ladies' den.
The Ladies Den, Thursday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell them Saga sent you. Lady K, are you ready?
I know she ready.
Kiki, are you ready? Bayou Diva, let them know that you're ready.
It's Thursday night, they at it again. You got it locked into the ladies then. It's Lady K, Kiki too, plus the Bayou Diva. You know how they do. From breaking news to favorite foods. See what's poppin' in the city, hot topics too. Advice for your issues if you need to grab a tissue. Just wait till a break, they may say something that'll fit you. Amazing guests live on set. You can laugh to your heart's content. They appreciate the love cause it's truly a blessing. My name's Saga Boss and I approve this message.
Ain't no room for hating, enjoy the entertainment. You are locked in to the ladies' den. So there's no confusion, they love what they're doing. You are locked in to the ladies' den.
The Ladies Den, Thursday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell them Saga sent you.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Lady K. We're in the den. We are in the Ladies Den. And one time for the one time, my co-hosts are on their way. Listen, your girl, first of all, happy Black Music Month. Okay, let's get a hand clap of praise for that. And really, it's the month of June. So, you know, happy Juneteenth. And last week we did a pre-recorded show because everybody was moving around, traveling, moving, everything. So, but the week before that, if you were able to join, I was on there representing the Ladies Den, and I talked a little bit about Juneteenth and about Black history and about what it means to me personally, and I shared because June is Black Music Month. I shared some songs from our elder generations because we tapped in a little bit about you know how each generation has their ratchet music category. My generation now, we listen to what's happening with this younger generation, and we like, ooh, they doing this, they doing that. Not totally looking over the fact that we definitely had our ratchet category. The difference between our generation and even our elder generation is that we had multiple categories to choose from. The ratchet music genres were not played on the radio in real, I'm gonna say the original version. Even those artists made they call them radio versions. Even they made radio versions, because if you go back, and actually I had both versions of NWA, I had both versions of the Dog Pound, I had both versions of the Chronic. I had both versions of what's Ice Cube's album with No Vaseline and all of that. There are two versions, because at that time Walmart was like the big conglomerate about where artists shared their music, and they would not accept the original or the explicit lyric versions from any artist. So if any artist wanted to put their music in Walmart, which at that time was the place to be among, other places, they knew they had to make a radio version album. So literally all of their albums, anybody that was in Walmart, they had to, if they had explicit lyrics on any of their album, of their original album, they had two versions. They had two versions. You could get the radio versions at Walmart. You could get the original versions from, like, I know back then we had a lot of music stores. I can't even, like, Best Buy would carry them. I think they still carry music. We had, I can see them in my head, but I can't remember the names. I can see the actual places in my head. Like, there were music stores in the mall. Like, anyway, I touched on the fact that this younger generation just plays their regular stuff. It's on the radio. We had, and the other thing was that right now it seems like, especially to those of us that are not really into the younger generation's music, it's seeming like their music genres that are played on the radio is just the ratchet, that we don't hear too much. That, there are no ballads. There are no just real kickback rap artists from them either. Everybody is, taking drugs. Everybody is talking about sex. Everybody is talking about being in toxic relationships. Not that. And somebody pointed this out on online. I saw it the other day. Pointed out that a lot of the music that we were jamming to back in the 90s, even though it sounded pretty, if you listen to the lyrics, it was real toxic. I would have to go along with that. When you go back and listen to a lot of SWV songs, which is the one that the lady was talking about, pretty much a lot of the SWV songs that were hits anyway. Like, if you had the album, there was some other stuff, but they were talking about being side chicks. It was a little toxicity going on. But even if you go back to our elders' music, you listen to what's the one? Voyage to Atlantis by the Isley Brothers. That was him talking to his side chick. Of course, Betty Wright was famous for putting out all of her music about, having a piece of man is better than having no man at all, which I emphatically disagree with that. And it seemed like all of her music was about taking the man back after he done you wrong. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, so we talked about Black Music Month. I touched on our elders, like our grandparents' version. It was one lady, it was Lucille something. You have to go back and look at it on our on the ladies did for our Facebook Live. Look at our videos and see the one not for last week, but the week before that. I played some of her music, and baby, listen. Serious. A doggone Muddy Waters, doggone Smoke. I forgot his name again. Smokestack Lightning. What is his name? Howlin' Wolf something. I played some hit, like I've touched on a little bit of everything because June is Black Music Month. And I was like, if we're gonna talk about everything, let's just talk about everything. Anyway, why, normally when we first join, we chit-chat about how our day has gone. For the most part, I will say I had an interesting day. I've been on PTO for the last couple of weeks, just getting back to the West Coast. So it's only 4 o'clock where I am right now, 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock where some of you guys are. I'm gonna have to go. I'm just gonna be, kind of transparent here. I'm gonna have to go to another are they called internists, the internal doctors that look at your stomach and stuff. Yeah, why can't you open this bottle of Gatorade? That's all I'm trying to do is open some Gatorade. So just me in the spirit of trying to start my day off healthy, I would normally do like a morning shot of, I used to do apple cider vinegar and cayenne. I haven't done that in a while, but I got the black seed oil because it helps with everything. I got it basically for, I was having, I've been diagnosed with hypothyroidism. And I didn't necessarily want to take the pills. I took them when I first got them. And then I was like, there's got to be a natural way. Black seed oil takes care of everything from head to toe. I had started taking that like first thing in the morning, right? But then I had found an old, I don't know if they diet, but it was an old, and I think you're only supposed to do it for like 2 weeks, but it was like an eating program that I used to have a long time ago. And the first thing that it said, every morning when you get up, do you a shot of lemon juice, lemon or lime, both work. Mixed with water, not just straight lemon juice. And then go about your way with eating whatever you're going to eat that for that day, right? So one morning, I got up, did my normal routine, went to work, and normally I will try to get up here and either make me a smoothie or cook me a quick breakfast. Like I like, as far as like bread and stuff, I'll buy tortillas instead of just regular loaf of bread. So I will like get up, maybe do some eggs or egg whites for me these days. Warm up me a couple of tortillas. I have the grilled chicken that I buy that's already cooked, but it's frozen. I'll throw that in and basically do me like a little breakfast taco or something like that. Normally, that particular day, I didn't eat anything, and I was fine. I got to work. And as it would have it, it was a Thursday that this happened the first time, and I got to work. And I normally on Thursdays I have an 8 a.m. Conference call with my managers. We discuss what's happening, what has happened and what's going to happen, whatever. One of those team meetings, you know what it is. So I'm on the call, feeling fine. I always have a bottle of water with me in the morning. I will have at some point made me a cup of tea. Like I'm normal as far as I'm concerned. Next thing I know, while I'm on the call, I feel like my stomach starts getting this crazy pain and I get nauseous. Hey girl, what's going on?
My tablet is acting crazy. It is going berserk today. I don't know what, maybe Biden and Trump did something to it.
You know what? It could be. What's going on with you, girl?
What's up? What we talking about?
Girl, I was just talking about my day I've had. I had to come home sick today. I'm having some kind of weird stomach issues. I'm gonna have to go to like a stomach intern specialist, whatever they're called, because it's like I didn't even eat anything. So everything that I regurgitated was water and tea. And yeah. And I had this real crazy pain that started happening just out the blue. I was on a team meeting call, and just all of a sudden I like held it back until we finished, and I had to go straight to the
wow.
bathroom.
Yikes.
Yeah. And so I'm literally like just getting up from earlier because I got home and I had no energy. I was like, I'm going to bed, and I will get online when I can, when I'm feeling better. But
Oh,
yeah,
honey.
so that's my day. And so I literally just made me a bowl of oatmeal, and I'm drinking me some Gatorade.
Sounds like a plan. Not sure about the oatmeal, but yes, the Gatorade.
Okay.
But
I haven't eaten anything
but
today,
if you
period.
can keep the oatmeal down,
Yeah.
then yeah.
Yeah.
But
I feel like it would be safe.
okay.
It's just oatmeal.
Okay. Well, yeah, just but yeah, huh? Okay.
Pray for me.
Okay.
Pray for your girl.
Okay. What's on Facebook? I've been missing y'all. Oh, honey. It's been a rough past couple of weeks, but guess what? We here. We here. We here. We here.
We're here today.
We are here. So we are we talking about this Ozempic stuff?
Huh?
Are we doing the Ozempic thing?
I didn't get a chance to like really look too much into it. I do know a video that I used before because I talked about it on my own personal Facebook Live.
Mm-hmm.
We could look at that. It's a YouTube video. I don't want to get us in trouble on YouTube, but
Girl, we
it's
always getting in trouble.
I know, but it's
We
literally
always
talking
getting in trouble
about
on YouTube.
it's
Yeah.
literally people talking about taking it because they were trying to lose weight, and it, not having a great outcome for them. We
Well,
could
because
look at that.
technically the medication is not for that. So
It's not. It's
that's
not.
the thing.
It's not.
That
And it's like a lot of people, if you look at them now, they are the ones that took it for that. They look crazy. Like they look like zombies, like everything is sunken in, and
mhm.
it's like it's not a healthy way to lose weight.
It's
It's
it
not.
is not. And for me,
I'm gonna pull it up.
the thing is, I'm not sure why these doctors are prescribing this medication to people for weight loss. It is a medication used for diabetic
For
patients.
diabetes. Yeah.
And little
Excuse me.
do they know, if you don't have diabetes, you might lose the weight, but it's going to cause some other issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and the doctors, I don't understand why they're just letting these people take this stuff. And you're not supposed to, just period.
I
If you're
think a
not
lot of it
diabetic,
had to do with Hollywood looking for shortcuts to lose weight. A lot of celebrities.
yeah, I mean, I can see that. Let me pull up something because what I wanted to talk about too is that's gonna go coincide. Remember, like I told you, with the Ozempic, it's summertime.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to lose weight. Everybody's trying to get this summer body. We
Mhm.
got all these people on Facebook, these girls on Facebook, these people that are exercising, and they showing all these beautiful toned and worked out bodies. And now you got people out there just trying to do whatever they can to look like these people. And we,
Mhm.
we just have to stop doing that, and we just have to be comfortable in our own skin. Everybody's not meant to be a size 3. Everybody's not meant to be a size 5. Everybody's not meant to be a size 6.
Right.
And then we go out and we follow these people and we want to look like these people, and we're damaging our bodies.
Right. Right.
So we just gotta stop. It's just too much. We have to stop it. I'm gonna pull up something about the Ozempic
Fine.
too.
first video, and I don't even know how it popped up for me, but it ended up being a YouTube video, and it took it. You know, once you start watching stuff on YouTube, you watch one video, it'll take you right to something else that's got the same thing to do with what you just watched, and then you end up down a rabbit hole, and then you end up like 2:00 in the morning, you still watching videos, and you're like, how the hell did I get here?
Right. I'm gonna while you pulling up that video, I'm gonna pull up all the side effects of Ozempic.
Okay. And I'm gonna tag my sister and see if she wants to join us.
Is she taking Ozempic?
I don't know. Cause when she said it, I just said okay at that time. But I don't think I don't know. I don't know. We're about to find out. We are about to find
You're gonna play that video.
Yeah, let me and so I'm really like I'll pull it up right now.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to play it. I'm going to grab my drink.
Okay.
Issue and to reverse heart failure. So I've got one patient on it for high blood pressure, tiny little dose, high blood pressure's down. I personally take it because I have psoriatic arthritis and I have crippling pain from tip to toe. It doesn't matter how clean of a life I live. It doesn't matter how clean my fish tank is. Menopause hit me. So tiny little doses mitigates my autoimmune conditions like nothing I've ever used.
All right. Welcome, Tina, and welcome, Callie. It's great to have you both on the show.
Pumped to be here.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is such a rich topic, and it's so deep. And I've spent probably 15 hours preparing for this podcast by reading everything that both of you written, reading study after study after study, looking at the data very carefully. And I can honestly say that after not just reading the headlines, but between the lines, reading the research, I've come to understand that this is a very nuanced conversation. It's not just good or bad. It's not just we should do it or we shouldn't do it. It's really about understanding, one, the bigger social context in which this is happening. The bigger social context is we are facing a metabolic health and obesity crisis that's never been seen before in the history of humanity. There's over 1 billion people who are obese, up 2 billion people who are overweight in the world. We have in America, it's even worse. We have 42% obese. We have 75% overweight. And 93.2% metabolic and healthy, meaning they're on the spectrum of some poor metabolic dysfunction, which is making them on their way towards prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. And the costs are staggering. We know our healthcare costs are now $4.3 trillion in direct costs. And probably 80% of that is for chronic disease, mostly caused by our food and primarily driven by this phenomenon of insulin resistance, which is part of what Ozempic and these drugs purport to fix. So as we start to think about how do we solve this problem, I've been thinking about it from the very macro view, which is how do we deal with the food environment, the toxic food environment that's caused us to be in this situation? This is not a genetic problem. There may be genetics that load the gun, but the environment pulls the trigger. And the environment has changed in the last 50 years so dramatically that it's led to an abundance of toxic food, ultra-processed food, high starch and sugar in our diet, ingredients we've never had before that are destroying our microbiome, that are destroying our nutritional resilience, that are causing poor metabolic health, and are really at the root of so much of what's going on. So I focused on policy issues. I wrote my book, Food Fix, just with an attempt to kind of lay out why this is happening. Because I realized I couldn't cure diabetes in my office. It's cured on the farm. It's cured in the factory where they make the food. It's cured by in the grocery store, in the kitchen. That's where diabetes is cured. And ultimately, I realized I had to go upstream to deal with the root causes, which is our bigger food system. And we're going to get to talk about that with Callie, because he's been talking about and thinking about it for a long time. And I think his new book, Good Energy, addresses a lot of these issues around metabolic health. It's his sister, Casey Means, who's been on the show. No, I often get them confused. Callie, Casey is, I don't know what their parents are. I don't know what their parents are thinking, but I think I've sorted it out, And Tina has a very different perspective, which is really around not the macro, which is how do we deal with individuals struggling with metabolic dysfunction, who've tried everything, done everything, hit the wall, can't make it work, struggle, white knuckle, and just can't get their bodies back into a state of good metabolic health. And we're going to talk about how she does that, why it's different than the traditional approaches to the use of these drugs, and why we need to rethink how we're doing this. So this is going to be a very interesting conversation. I'm really excited to dive in. And so first we're going to start with the macro and start with Callie, because I want you to set the stage for the situation we're in around our poor metabolic health and obesity, and what this is doing to us as a society, economically, socially, politically, even in terms of our social divisions and conflict, all driven by the effect of these things on our physical and mental health. So can you kind of unpack for us, Callie, how you see the current state of affairs in the realm of weight and obesity? Now, I realized, just read an article this morning and said it's not okay to say someone's obese. You have to say they're someone with obesity. I get it, but we gotta have to sort of take a hard look at this. And so tell us from your perspective, how should we be thinking about this problem at a macro level?
Thank you so much for convening this conversation. Dr. Tina's had a huge impact on me, and I really think this is important to have a long form, nuanced conversation that goes over the micro and the macro. And as you said, I've been really focused on the macro. I think there's some really important macro considerations that patients need to know before thinking about Ozempic. And that is that this is really about the median American and the median American child. 94% of the country is metabolically dysfunctional. Something has happened all at once, as you point out so well in Food Fix. Just looking at kids, 20 to 25% of young adults having fatty liver disease, 50% of young adults being overweight or obese. By some counts, 33% of young adults having prediabetes.
Yep.
It's a moral stain on our country where I think through very observable and very definable situations, we're poisoning our kids. We're poisoning them chiefly by food, the rise of ultra-processed food, which was close to 0% 100 years ago, and now up to 70% of a child's diet by some counts.
It all started with Crisco in 1911.
Yeah, and it started with good intentions after World War II to kind of feed the world and make ultra-processed food, but it's been weaponized. And, food companies now are one of the largest employers of scientists to weaponize our food against us. And I can't go to a playground with my 2-year-old without seeing almost every kid there, drinking Coke, drinking sugary drinks. So fundamentally, this is a question about what is the solve for this metabolic health crisis and the different branches on that crisis of the diabetes crisis, the heart disease crisis, the obesity crisis. And I think my main point is that the medicalization, siloing of chronic disease has been an utter failure.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying a doctor shouldn't prescribe a statin or metformin if that's the case and that's the determination, but the overall default to isolating and medicalizing a chronic condition has been bad. The world would be a better place if we actually didn't go this route of seeing heart disease as a statin deficiency, seeing diabetes as a metformin deficiency, seeing high blood pressure as an inhibitor deficiency, seeing depression as an SSRI deficiency. My argument, I actually think the data is clear on this. If those drugs were—
depression is not a Prozac deficiency?
Yeah. Exactly. And my argument, I think the data is clear on this. If you actually took those drugs off the table, if they didn't exist, and the medical system actually asked, what's the root cause of these conditions? What should we spend $4.5 trillion on actually solving these conditions? It would actually go to the things you talk about core lifestyle habits. Yeah. And the issue and what the obesity epidemic represents, with 80% of American adults now being overweight or obese, is that we really have a dirty tank. We have fundamentally lost our way in crony capitalism and rigging the system, basically poisoning the American people. And is that an Ozempic deficiency? Should we do more of the same in the most pronounced chronic condition for the median American, for the median child? Should we be prescribing the Ozempic? And I really think when you reel that back, the answer is no, right? I'm not talking about, a 400-pound, extremely diabetic person. That's between the patient and the doctor. But when the American Academy of Pediatrics is saying that the average 12-year-old should be on Ozempic, when this is being pushed on 6-year-olds who have an obesity crisis, that gets over 20% of kids in the U.S. have childhood obesity. And in Japan, it's 3 to 4%, right? We have unique dynamics happening in America, and it completely takes our eye off the ball to say that's an Ozempic deficiency. Novo Nordisk right now is the 12th most valuable company in the world. It's the most valuable company in Europe.
It's the biggest contributor to GDP in Denmark, the country that.
But interestingly, their revenue and profits aren't coming from Europe. Is it
true they don't allow Ozempic to be sold in Denmark? Is that true?
It's not the standard of care. First off, in Denmark, it's under $100, and they are making all their money off Americans, where they charge $1,600 to $1,800
a month.
They're taking advantage of Americans, but it's not the standard of care in Denmark. I was in Denmark last year. They have sound food policies. People are biking, walking around. And actually, if you have obesity, the doctor is able to prescribe exercise and a keto diet that's subsidized by the government. Ozempic is not the standard of care for obesity. When you actually look at the stock analysis, 80 to 90% of profit expectations are coming from the United States. They're taking advantage of the United States. So we have a dirty fish tank, right? The problem is not an Ozempic deficiency. The problem is, when are we?
So basically, and this is what happens like in the medical field in these doctors' offices. Doctors, and what he's saying is they feel like you should change your diet. Like he's basically saying what most doctors want to say to patients is, if you change your diet and you watch what you eat, you won't have this. Or because you have it, here's a way to get rid of it. You need to change what you're eating. You need to exercise. You need to do this. And, there are some people who, like myself, who I just don't like medicine. I mean, I practice it, but I don't like it. I don't like taking medicine. So, I am one of those that if a doctor says something wrong, it's like, okay, so what else can I do to fix this or to help with this issue? And that's basically what he's saying. And then also they're pushing Ozempic on 6-year-olds and 8-year-olds. Like what?
It's crazy. And you see what he said, even the country that freaking makes the drug, they don't even give it to their people. The doctors tell them, okay, go do some exercise and go get on a keto diet and then come back, however many days later. Here, like he said, they're making all their money off of Americans. Everybody over here looking for that shortcut. They want to take something to make them lose weight real quick.
Yeah.
It's messing with us. I mean, it's one thing if you're taking it for diabetes and look, by the way, I ended up losing weight. Okay, that was that. But the medicine is actually helping your body adjust something else that's helping. It's not meant to just give to people, say, oh, I'm 30 pounds overweight, I need Ozempic. No, you don't.
I feel like this when you go to the pharmacy and you don't have a diagnosis code that said diabetes, I wouldn't feel it if I was a pharmacist.
You would think.
Well, you don't have diabetes, baby. I can't feel it. I'm sorry. And then there was a shortage of Ozempic because everybody was taking it.
Because they were taking it. Yeah, the folks that needed it couldn't even get it.
So, yeah. Finish playing it. Let's see what else he's talking about.
Okay.
These people something else, boy, I tell you.
Telling you, it's Hollywood. Money talks.
But then that's what we talk about too. How our kids and these young women are following Hollywood. They want to look like the people look in Hollywood.
Going to say we're going to stop poisoning kids.
They're talking about using this in kids, but we're filling the schools with ultra processed junk food that these kids are eating for lunch, and that the school lunch program is so messed up that these kids aren't getting healthy, nutritious food that's helping them be metabolically healthy or mentally healthy.
Right. So then we look at, okay, what do you use this for? The instructions on Ozempic is as a lifetime drug. It actually, there was a warning. So let's just look at what Novo Nordisk says. They said this is not a quick use. This is not for a kickstart. This is a lifetime drug, and there's actually some serious warnings if you go off the drug and gain the weight back, and actually unknown metabolic effects. So that's what Novo Nordisk says. And they're actually saying, with the help of the American Academy of Pediatrics, which early in my career I helped pay by pharma companies, is a subsidiary of pharma companies. This Danish company is one of the top contributors to it. They're saying that a 12-year-old, it should be the first line of defense. It shouldn't be after dietary interventions fail. It says if a 12-year-old gains a little bit of weight, put them on this drug for life.
So the American Academy doesn't have first-line therapy as lifestyle.
They're saying that we need urgent, quick interventions on surgery and Ozempic, and not after dietary interventions fail. That's what the recent press release and guidance from the American Academy of Pediatrics
that seems pretty messy.
The American Academy of Pediatrics has not spoken out about Coca-Cola machines and pediatric boards in classrooms. They've not spoken out about the fact that 10% of food stamp funding goes to Coca-Cola. They've not spoken out about our agriculture subsidies. But they have said that if your 12-year-old gains a little bit of weight, they need to be on this injection for the rest of their life. Now, what's the problem with this, right? As we know from your work, that if you're not taking the opportunity to train that child on metabolically healthy items, to train them on exercise, to train them on healthy food, to train them on having awe and curiosity for what they're putting in their body, they're going to continue to rack up comorbidities. You know, if somebody's anorexic, their LDL levels are probably going to go down right away, but that's not a sustainable long-term strategy. That's just what Ozempic does. It's a crash course calorie deficit, not train that child, you know, for any type of awe or curiosity or lifestyle change that's needed. Even if they're eating and on this drug for life, right, they're fundamentally still sedentary, like our kids are, and still putting ultra-processed food, which is going to lead to other metabolically healthy items. So what doctors are saying now is that, and I think you've said this, that you have to exercise. You have to, and actually Novo Nordisk is even admitting this. They're saying you have to shift to
from their studies that they lose significant muscle
They're
mass.
saying that it's a huge disaster if you take this drug and don't exercise 4 to 5 times a week with weight training and shift to a non-ultra processed food, high protein diet. My message is this. Let's start with that first. Let's start with steering the trillions of dollars of incentives of our medical system to doing that first before we're drugging into it, because it's a contradiction. Because what's actually happening is you have doctors at Harvard and the American Academy of Pediatrics saying the reverse. They're saying that obesity is now genetic. They have to define obesity as genetic in order to get taxpayer funding for this drug. You actually have the leading obesity research at Harvard, Dr. Fatima Cody Stanford, saying throw willpower, throw diet, throw exercise out the window. So on the one hand, you actually have doctors arguing that this is a genetic condition and basically a drug deficiency.
Isn't she conflicted a little bit?
And she's paid, so we can get into the corruption. So when we have a dirty tank, when you have this massive societal issue, the biggest branch of the tree of metabolic dysfunction, when are we going to say that our healthcare policy needs to go towards metabolically healthy habits? In this case, Ozempic is a problem for 2 ways. Number one, it's a distraction. It's once again saying the cure is in the medication. We're telling 50% of 12-year-olds who are overweight or obese, you're okay. The doctors aren't saying that the kid has to work out 4 times a week and shift their diet. That's not what anyone is saying to that kid.
In schools
You're
anymore,
saying you're saved now from this drug. That's why I think this problem is one of the biggest issues in the country. Ozempic is a disaster if the drug was perfect, because it's giving the wrong message when it's not the solve to the problem. And there's a massive opportunity cost where for $1,500 to $1,800 a month, we could change our agriculture system to regenerative ag. We could give every obese child in the country a card to buy organic whole food. So it's a disaster from that perspective. It's also medically extremely problematic. This actually, to my estimation, you tell me, I think it's actually the highest and most pronounced side effects of any drug widely approved in modern American history. 80% of people on this drug have nausea and 30% have extreme vomiting. It has a black box warning, which we should take seriously. If we take the other studies seriously, we should take that very seriously, a black box warning for thyroid cancer. And the issues are so pronounced for mental health because it's disrupting our microbiome, which produces 95% of our serotonin. The EU, which is actually much more quizzical about this drug, is launching a massive investigation for suicidal ideation.
I looked at that data, and I think there's some questions about it.
Well, this is short-term data. Well, this is exactly the point, actually. This is extremely short-term indicators. They approved this drug on a 68-week rig study to approve for 12-year-olds for life. The research, if it's showing any leading indicators that Novo Nordisk has to admit, that's a serious problem, because these are all their studies are funded by Novo Nordisk and Very Rush. So if there's any indicator whatsoever which necessitates that black box warning, the other thing I'll say is let's just back up and go to like what I've learned from you, which is that what is our body telling us? If 80% of the people have nausea, if 30% are throwing up, that's telling us that this drug is producing some unknown metabolic issues throughout our body and really has some interconnected problems that we fully don't even understand. That's what it tells me.
I think it's true. There are a lot of side effects if you take it in a way that actually is prescribed currently, but there are ways of using the drug. We're going to talk about with Tina that mitigate a lot of the side effects, that avoid a lot of the problems you're talking about, and that aren't using the product that's from the pharmaceutical industry. It's from compounding pharmacies, which is a kind of a left field thing that people don't know about. But
Right.
what's really striking is you can get these drugs for $20 a month if you get them from compounding pharmacies, and at doses that are far lower, that may be effective without a lot of the complications and side effects, and combined with a lifestyle. It made me think about the MAPS work, which is psychedelic research, and probably this year MDMA therapy with psychotherapy is going to be proved. So it's bundled. You can't get MDMA without also having psychotherapy. You shouldn't be able to get Ozempic or any peptide like that that's driving this problem without actually having a bundled service of an aggressive lifestyle change, including dietary and exercise training and services.
Well, I think the MAPS and what's happening with MDMA approval is one of the most important events in the country, and probably for another podcast. I just say, and I'm excited about this nuanced conversation, but at working for the pharma companies, I do think this nod to exercise and healthy eating, it is a joke. Like the pharma companies are laughing about that, right? They know, right? Fundamentally, we're incentivizing the American people with trillions of dollars to eat poison and then be drugged. The largest industry in the country, every lever of it makes money on interventions on people that are sick, and there's a high incentive for people to stay sick. And that's been the history of the post-World War II chronic disease complex. So what we have to do is clean the tank.
What do you mean by clean the tank?
We have an ability today to take the $4.5 trillion that we spend on healthcare, and when somebody comes in with obesity, or when a child comes in with obesity, for the standard of care to be actually incentivizing and medically recommending diet and exercise, as we're already admitting that has to be done on Ozempic already. My point is this: every patient should know this. Ozempic, everyone agrees that this drug is highly problematic unless you do 4 to 5 days a week of intense strength training and shift your diet to non-ultra processed food, high protein. Do that first. And by cleaning the tank, and this is what TrueMed's doing, this is what we're lobbying for, we can steer medical dollars. It's the incentives that are damaging us in this country.
Totally
Again, in Japan, look at the obesity rates, look at the childhood obesity rates, look at the diabetes rates. This is a unique problem based on the incentives of America that we can fix, but it's not shoving an injection into 50% of US children.
Let's look at this from a different perspective, because I think all the things you're saying are accurate. And I think we need to look at this from the perspective of the paradox between an incredibly toxic food environment. Because you're saying eat, exercise, but if 67% of kids' diets is ultra processed food, some estimates by some studies show it's 73%. And we live in a toxic nutritional landscape where it's almost impossible to do the right thing. We live in a society that fosters sedentary lifestyle, that has no incentives in school for healthy eating or for movement for kids. We have to change the structural phenomena that are driving this. Paul Farmer talked about structural violence. What are the social, political, and economic conditions that drive disease? That has to be dealt with. But and that's what we're doing. That's what you're doing in Washington. That's what I'm doing in Washington with the Food Fix campaign, is trying to change the policies that are driving this, from marketing of junk food to kids, to subsidizing the commodity crops that are turning into junk food, to food stamps that are paying for junk food. I mean, the list goes on and on. For paying for nutrition services in medicine, for changing Medicare reimbursement, changing all the things that we know need to be changed to actually drive a bigger societal systemic change. But there is a paradox here, because we are already metabolically, as you say, busted, Tina. And when you have someone who's metabolically screwed up from being in this toxic soup of processed food and junk food and sugar and starch that has caused them to become metabolically obese and metabolically busted, it's really hard to kind of get people out of that. It's like they're stuck. One of my professors, Sidney Baker, who's one of the, I think, most brilliant scientific minds in medicine in the 20th century and 21st century, said, sometimes you need 100 horses to get people who are really unstuck. So when you have these really chronically ill patients with multiple dysfunctions, metabolically, inflammatory issues, gut issues, immune issues, it takes a lot of effort to pull them out of the mud. And sometimes you need a whole team of 100 horses. And so the question is, how do we both deal with the things you're talking about, which is the corruption of pharma and the corruption of medicine? And this has happened, by the way. You talk a lot about this, Callie, how $27 million spent by Ozempic company manufacturer, Novo Nordisk, to fund doctors and others who are promoting this drug. So there's a lot of corruption in the system. They're funding the NAACP, so they come out in favor of Ozempic, and they say it's systemic
Registered
racism
lobbyists, yeah.
if you don't prescribe it. But at the same time, we have to deal with all the corruption from the pharma industry and from internally in medicine, how things are done. We have to also accept that we're in this incredible crisis where people are struggling and they can't get better, even if they want to and they try.
I would just say we have to solve that. We have to assess that crisis. It's the biggest issue we face. The fact that we're getting sicker, more depressed, more infertile at an increasing rate is the biggest issue in the country.
100%.
And nobody would look at that issue and say that we should keep letting that happen and then jab 50% of 12-year-olds with the drug.
Right.
There's no evidence that this helps kickstart. This is a lifetime drug, but as many doctors have noted, the second you go off a crash course diet, this is an injectable kind of calorie deficit crash course diet. The data is very clear. The second you go off this drug, you gain the weight back. You have to get to the root cause. You have to get people exercising and food. There's nothing without that.
True, that can work, but for some people, it still doesn't. And as a doctor seeing patients, with all the best intentions, people struggle, even if they know what to do, even if they're educated, even if they're doing it. I've seen people struggle. And so the question is there a way to think about this class of drugs differently? Is there a way to think about it, not from the pharma point of view, which is lifelong drugs, which is high doses, which is pharmaceutical injections that cost $1,700 a month that nobody can afford, that's going to bankrupt society? Is there another way to actually think about using these drugs to help people who really struggle? And what are the pros and cons? And what is the science behind it?
But the drug is there to help people with diabetes, not weight loss.
By
Exactly.
talking, and we're going to get into all the details, because
So
I see you
there's
like
no
in
other
your chair
way.
waiting to get going, and I'm going to get you let go in a minute.
All right, you can stop it. So what the bottom line is, he's saying, is there another way to use this drug? Yes, the way that it was made for diabetes. This is the way to use this drug. This is what it was made for. And, as a nurse working in the medical field, and we tell people all the time, listen, there are ways. You got medicine for high blood pressure. Yes. But not only take your high blood pressure medications, also try to do these things at home. You have to change your diet. You have to change the way you eat. You can't eat all this salty, high sodium foods. You can't eat all these fried foods and all of that stuff when you have hypertension. So basically, when you do that along with the medication, eventually you can come off the medication if you make that a way of life. But one thing he was saying about processed food, like, what are we supposed to do? So here is when we need to get with the Food and Drug Administration and figure out why we got to have all our food processed. The processed food, it is what it is. And when you have a family of 5 or 6 and you have a mother and a father that works, what do you think? They're going in the back and grow some food? They don't have time. They have to make money to take care of their family. So basically, the processed foods that they're putting out there, what are we going to eat? What are we going to eat? But one thing I can agree with what he said, the government does this purposely. They want to keep us sick.
Yeah. So we can buy more drugs.
So we can buy more drugs. These pharmacies, and one thing he said about the compound pharmacy, I don't know if you know a lot about compound pharmacies, but compound pharmacies are the ones that make all the creams and the different things like that. And they can make a less expensive brand of any type of medication. These compound pharmacies, generic. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
These compound pharmacies are the ones that's making the money. But at the same token, first of all, the doctors are the ones that's to blame for this Ozempic pandemic. Because if your patient is not diabetic, you should not be prescribing them this medication. So, and he's saying that they're trying to give this to 6-year-olds and 12-year-olds. They're trying to make this the first line of defense for weight loss for these kids. That's you can't. I mean, For me, that's insane. That's insane to say, okay, this 12-year-old's overweight, so now we're going to give him Ozempic
For life.
and for life. And then you talk about giving this child a medication that's $1,700 a month that you know their parent can't pay for.
Right.
Why? Why? One thing, and let me tell you, it's so crazy because I was speaking with a gentleman this morning, and we were talking about the pandemic. Well, actually, he was from Haiti. And I told him I was from New Orleans. So we were talking about, he was talking about the voodoo and the witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. And I said, yes, I know it very well. Have I ever practiced it? No, because that's the devil. That's you bringing in all kind of spirits and evil stuff. There's nothing good about voodoo and about witchcraft. I don't care how you put it. I don't care how you line it up, how you write it down. It is nothing good about that. So we talked about that. And then he also talked about the pandemic. The pandemic was a self-made situation.
And
it was a lab worked disease.
Yes.
And it was put out there to do exactly what it did, to put fear in the American people. Yep. And all y'all went out there getting them shots and getting all this stuff. And now since y'all got all these what you call it, the shot. What? The COVID shots. Yeah. Now y'all went out there and got these COVID shots, and guess what? Y'all sick. This is happening. You're feeling this, you got this, you're doing this, you got this, you can't see, you can't do.
Got heart problems.
All of this that you had none of before that vaccine. The world, the government did exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to scare the American people, and they did this. They did just that.
Yep.
They wanted to make y'all feel like they told y'all. And see, the thing about our American people with the government, we run out and do everything they said. But y'all not one time listening when they said there's a vaccine for COVID. All y'all ran out, got the vaccine. Yeah. It wasn't even approved by the FDA when they first started putting it out there. Nope. But yet y'all still went and got it. It was not approved by the FDA. They first told you it would prevent you from getting COVID. And all of y'all out there with them shots, you still got COVID. Then they backtracked and they came back and said, oh, you will get COVID, but you just won't get it as bad as a person who doesn't have the vaccine.
It's like the flu.
Yeah. So they did exactly what they did. They scared y'all. They scared the American people. All y'all out there getting these shots. Y'all gonna be looking like aliens in a few years. Now they're talking about putting all this stuff in your body, you know, these chips and all this kind of stuff. And y'all listen to all that stuff. Y'all listen to it all. Y'all listen to it all.
Well, you know, it's people that's already chipped.
But they can go on and get chipped all they want. It won't be no chips over here.
Yeah, me either.
It won't be no chips over here. But I said that to say that Ozempic is doing the same thing.
Same thing.
It's out there. It's telling y'all, here's this drug. And let me just let the American people know one thing. Whenever they come out with a drug and it's such a big hype like this, you got to know something's wrong with it.
Yep.
You got to know something is wrong. When they come out with a drug, I don't care if it's for diabetes, for high blood pressure, for cancer, for liver, kidney, I don't care what it's for. When there's a drug that come out and you get such a big hype like this, coming from a nurse shop, please know something's wrong with that drug. Please know this. Stop going out there just taking this stuff because it's new and everybody out there taking Ozempic, so now I want Ozempic. Nope. All y'all out there taking this drug, guess what? It's messing y'all up. And
Messing you
especially for the ones who are not diabetic.
Right. Exactly.
When you are diabetic, this Ozempic is used to control your sugar levels. You ain't got that, then what you taking it for? And now you got people saying who's not diabetic that they've taken Ozempic and it has done nothing for them. You know why? Because it's not for weight loss. So all the money you spent on this drug is not for that. It might have worked for some people who's not diabetic to help them lose weight, but then for others, it's not going to work because the drug is not made for that. But I guarantee you, mark my words, today, June 20, whatever the date is, 27th. Those of you who took that Ozempic and not diabetic, you will have some issues in the future. I guarantee you will.
Yep, if they don't already have it. There was one video that I saw, and it's not a part of this one. It was another one. Like I said, once you start watching, they take you to the next one and the next one. One popped up where they were actually interviewing people that took it because of weight loss, like nothing else. And the lady immediately said she had like her kidney started failing and like multiple organ failure. But even she said at that time, it did not even dawn on me not to stop taking the medicine because I had in my mind that I wanted to lose this weight and be a certain weight. And she stopped because she almost died. Then when she got better, she went right back on it. It took her twice to almost die to say, you know what, this is probably not what I should be doing.
Let me just tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all some of the side effects of Ozempic. And this is the side effects for people who want to lose weight. This is only for weight loss side effects. You got constipation, nausea, and sometimes diarrhea, dizziness, fatigue, allergic reaction, a lot of belching, abdominal pain. Check this out. Hypoglycemia, thyroid cancer, blurred vision, flatulence, headache, tachycardia means you're starting to get some heart issues, gallbladder disease, heartburn, kidney disease, pancreatitis, dysphagia, lumps, and reduced urination. What?
Shailene. Yep.
What? So they're telling you that Ozempic can cause all of this if you're using it for weight loss because it starts to affect your other organs because it's not working for you because you're not diabetic. Abdominal pain, thyroid cancer, it can cause you to have thyroid cancer.
Yep. They're willing to risk all of that.
Y'all willing to get all of this stuff just to lose weight? So when you lose the weight, then what? You're gonna die. Make it make sense. Make it make sense to me.
It don't make sense.
You will risk getting all of this to lose weight, and right after you lose the weight, you're gonna die. Because one of these things will tachycardia, you're gonna die. That's your heart. Your heart rhythm ain't right. You're gonna die.
Yep.
Thyroid cancer, you're gonna die. Really? Reduce urination. So if your urination is reduced, you know what that means? That means you're going into kidney disease because your kidneys are not functioning properly.
Yep.
So you will risk all of this, getting any of these one things or all of them just to lose weight.
Yep.
Pancreatitis. I mean, like, come on, y'all. Like, this it's not worth it. It is not worth it. Walk, exercise. And it's just not worth it. It's not worth it.
It's not worth your health. It's not worth your health. My baby sister is watching. Lynn, did you want to join us on video? To chit chat about it, or you just gonna stay in the comments? Did you have to take this at any time? Let us know, chat. Let us know. Because I'm glad.
So listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
In October of 2023, last year, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration added a warning to the label of Ozempic, a diabetic medication, after multiple reports of intestinal blockages following its use. And then it says Ozempic is also commonly prescribed off-label for weight loss. So even for the people that's taking it for diabetes,
they're
having
having
intestinal issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why in God's green earth would y'all want to take this stuff?
And you don't really need it. Yeah, just to lose weight. I'm telling you, it's got to do with the way, because Hollywood is always talking about how they have to lose or gain weight for different roles. And so they're always, sadly, they have to always look perfect in front of the camera. Otherwise, the world will criticize them for whatever. So they take the latest shortcut, because for a while, it was before Ozempic, they were shooting themselves up with insulin to lose weight. Yeah, they were doing the actual shots. That was another thing that they were doing.
And then listen, they say the worst side effect of Ozempic is stomach paralysis.
Now, what does that mean? What does that
means? What your stomach paralysis? That means nothing is functioning in your stomach. Your gallbladder, gallstone, pancreas, all that. It's paralyzed. So it's not functioning.
Oh.
Like, why? She said, yes, I did. After a year of being on it, I'm no longer diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
But my doctor still prescribing for me to help with my weight loss, which is working.
Now, you having any side effects, though?
But I can't believe you've been on Ozempic for a year and then you're no longer diabetic. It don't work that way. Yeah.
I mean...
but Ozempic is not a medication used to cure you of diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like everybody else. It helps you with your diabetes, but it doesn't clear you of diabetes. So that's kind of I don't know. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I don't know.
Oh, she said yes, constipation was her side effect. But she had weight loss surgery. How long has been, Lynn, since your weight loss surgery? Like has it been a year yet? Couple of years? So yeah.
So see, it doesn't. That's kind of odd. Because for me, if you say you was on it for a year and you no longer have diabetes, which leads me to believe you were never a diabetic, you might have been pre-diabetic, and they wanted to start something to keep you from being diabetic, but it's not used to cure diabetes. Diabetes is not a curable disease. Not that I ever known of. Okay. So it is used to improve your blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes. It's not a cure. So, I can only say that for me, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I've never seen anybody cured of diabetes. I've always seen people who have had their diabetes under control, and you may not no longer have to take medication, but to be completely cured I've never seen it. Never seen it ever. I've been in the medical field over 30 years. Never seen it. I've seen someone who has had their diabetes under control, meaning They might not need medication. You're at a level where it's controlled, but for it actually to go away, never seen that. But again, hey, I serve an awesome God. He can do anything.
She said made a year on 22nd that she had the weight loss surgery. Been diabetic since 2007. Said her A1C was a 13.
So listen to this. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic disease that can't be permanently reversed, but it's possible to put it into remission. And that is just what I was just saying. You cannot say you no longer have diabetes, but it can be controlled into a remission state where you don't need to take medication or you don't need to do that. And it says remission means that your blood sugar levels are normal for at least 3 months without taking the medication. Some people can go years without issues, but there's always a chance that symptoms will return. Diabetes is incurable. You cannot not have diabetes, but it can be in remission and it can be on that controlled level. And like they just said, for years, people can go years without having any issues, but it's there.
Right.
It's always there. It's always there in your system. It can be in remission, just like cancer.
Right. So that's just like with anybody, if they just decide to take the route of exercise and changing their food habits on their own.
It just controls it.
Yeah.
Like I have several patients when I was in the primary care that were hypertensive. And this one lady, she was like 50 something years old and she refused. She's like, I don't want no medication. I'm not taking no medication. What can I do? Here's what you can do. You can put yourself on a low sodium diet. You can cut back on high sodium foods. You can cut back on the breads and the pastas, which that's a part of diabetes, but this is hypertension and it works hand in hand. So stop eating the fried foods, stop eating the oily foods, cut back on your eggs and cut back on all of the stuff that is cholesterol driven. So, and when I tell you this lady did that, she did that and she regulated her blood pressure. She regulated it. She did not have to take medication, but she changed her diet and she changed the way she ate and she changed what the doctor told her to do. So she never had to take medication for hypertension, but it didn't go nowhere. It was just at a level where it was controlled.
Right.
So like I tell my diabetic patients, you get on, their worst thing is I like pasta, I like rice, I like bread, I like all that stuff. And again, a lot of people think you get diabetes from sugar. You do not. It's from starches that breaks down to sugar in your body.
Right.
Okay. So if you're a bread eater, pasta eater, rice eater, all that kind of stuff, and sometimes it could be hereditary.
Right. Right.
But if you do the things that you're supposed to do, back up off the bread, back up off the pastas, the rices, try to eat more of your green leafy vegetables for your calcium. Yes, you're welcome. But eat more of your green leafy vegetables where you're getting your vitamins, your B12, your calcium, your, all of those things. If you do that,
right,
and you level your diabetes, then hey, I want some pasta today. You can have it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But you got to get yourself on a regulated level where you're not taking medication. And like the the information says, the only way you know you in remission or you're at a level where you can go at least 3 months without taking medication and your diabetes is level and your diabetes are not off the chain, your A1C is not off the chain, and your blood pressure is at a normal level between 120/80 or within that range for an adult. So if that is level and you're taking your blood pressure on a daily basis to keep a blood pressure record, then you tell yourself, okay, I want some fried chicken. You can have some fried chicken today.
Right.
But you can't go back to eating fried chicken every day. You do
Right.
it as a treat.
Right.
Diabetics, you do it as a treat. You can have a half a slice of pie, not a whole slice of pie.
Not a whole pie.
You know, you can have a little slice of cake, maybe one a month or something like that. If you're at a regulated stage
Mhm.
and you're doing the things to keep your hypertension and to keep your diabetes regulated, it's called a treat. You can treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
But you can't go back to, oh Lord, that cake was so good, I need another piece. No, you can't do that.
Can't do that.
So if you feel like you're not at a stage where you're comfortable with just saying, okay, here's my treat today, I'm gonna have a piece of red velvet cake.
Right.
But I know I can't have no more red velvet cake for another 2 months.
No, right.
If you're not strong enough to do that, then don't give yourself a treat until you feel like you're ready. Till you've been on that diet long enough, that you're okay without the medication. And
Right.
you know that you're okay with your routine that you have put yourself in. But this Ozempic stuff, it's just people, they got people crazy. They got people out here crazy and they're killing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They are killing themselves. I wish whoever's not on here tonight, I really wish y'all can go back and watch this because this is some good information. You guys are killing yourselves with that Ozempic if you're not diabetic.
Yeah.
And it's even causing the diabetics issues.
It gives them issues.
So
Right.
you can imagine what it's going to do to you. Y'all got to stop. Y'all got to stop following the hype. And if you are listening to the hype, do your own research, man. Do your own research.
Yeah.
The doctors are not going to tell you because the pharmacies want the money.
Yeah.
They want the business.
Big pharma.
You have to look at it like that. The doctors want, because if you eating healthy, you're exercising, you're taking care of yourself, you don't need to go to the doctor as often. So what that means, the doctor's offices aren't making money.
Mm-hmm.
That means the pharmacies aren't making money. We have to stop letting the government, oh my God, the government is killing us. And that's exactly what they want to do. They want to kill us off.
Mm-hmm.
They scared everybody with this pandemic. They had everybody in an uproar, and they still got people today with masks. And granted, I'm working in a hospital right now. I'm wearing my mask in the hospital.
Right.
Because
but you guys always wore masks, didn't you? Wasn't it always
No, we did not. Unless there was and you know what? I thought about that. This is something to think about though. When we went into the pandemic and we had to wear masks,
mm-hmm.
I often wonder why we never wore masks before. They were available, but the only time we wore masks is if somebody was in isolation. If somebody had MRSA, if somebody had TB or something like that, then we went into their room in full PPE with a mask on. But when the pandemic happened, it made me wonder, like, man, I'm in this room with a lot of patients on a daily basis. Who knows what these patients have? But the government never put that scare in our mind like that. So we knew if somebody was really sick, they were in some type of isolation where we knew we had to totally wear masks. But on a regular basis, we don't wear masks.
Right. Okay.
We just didn't have to. But, in a hospital, when you work in a hospital, you have to have a mask because at least now, because one day you go in a patient room and there's nothing outside their room. And then when you go back the next day, you got to get up in full gear. But I've already been in this patient room.
Right.
And this is because they're trying to rule out certain things of what the patient might have, what the patient might not have. Right. So basically now you got nurses and doctors just wearing masks around the hospital. But what I don't understand, how some people are so ignorant, they would wear a mask in a hot-ass car by themselves. What the hell you got on the mask for?
I don't get that. I
You
don't.
about to smother yourself, and then you in a car by yourself. So who's gonna give you something? You like who's gonna give you something? You in the car by yourself. It's
I don't
1,000
understand
degrees
that.
outside, and you're riding in a car with your mask on. Excuse my expression, but how stupid can you be?
I
That's
never
just
understood
stupid. That is really stupid.
that.
Like, why you? I don't get it. I don't get it. But what I will suggest to people is COVID is still out there. It is still out there. It is
It is.
still out there. And y'all mark my words, mark my words, mark my words.
Word.
We will be in another pandemic.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, it's coming. It is coming.
I'm sure.
And as a nurse, you know, we get everything from CDC before the world does. Because hospitals get everything before anybody else does. But we will be in another pandemic. And all I can say to protect yourself is wear a mask when you're in large crowds. You ain't got to wear a mask in your house
Mm-hmm.
with your children.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're like me, when I was coming home from work, if I felt funny or whatever, then I wore a mask. And that's only because in my house, that's only because I have an elderly, sick woman that lives in this house.
Right.
So it was to protect her. But if you ain't working in no hospital, you ain't got no, you don't need to be wearing that around your house. You wear it when you're in large crowds and closed-in areas.
Mm-hmm.
Because COVID is still out there. You just don't have hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people dying from it.
Right.
But you best believe there's still people dying from COVID. They're just not talking about it because it's not in droves, it's not in hundreds, it's not in thousands. But the government is set up to scare us, y'all. They want to scare us and just have us all in a tizzy like they've been having us.
Yep.
They just want to scare you. They want to scare y'all into, oh, I'm going to get the vaccine because I don't want to get COVID. Yeah, but if y'all listen, not one time did they tell you it was going to keep you from getting COVID. They just had the COVID vaccine is ready. Wasn't approved by FDA, none of that.
Yep.
And this Ozempic was approved by the Food and Drug Administration, but look what it's doing. And it's not only Ozempic, it's Lipitor, it's lisinopril, it's all these other medications for any type of illness that you have. High blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, kidney disease, gallstones. Even me, I have IBS. I take medication. And I'm hard-headed, though. I take medication. But I know there's certain things that I should not eat. And I am now getting to that stage of, okay, you know you ain't supposed to eat this, don't eat it. Cheese is not my friend, but I love it. I love it. I love cheese on everything. But having IBS, cheese is not my friend. I shouldn't eat cheese. I shouldn't drink milk. No dairy. And I love all dairy. I love yogurt. I love it. And it don't do me right. It don't do me right.
See.
But now I've finally gotten to the point where, okay, I'm not gonna eat this because I know I ain't supposed to eat it. And it's hard sometimes when you've been doing something for so long, and then all of a sudden somebody say, "Well, now you know you ain't supposed to eat that. That doesn't work with what you have, or you shouldn't eat this because it irritates this or it irritates that, and it's not good for you. You shouldn't eat it." But when you've been doing things for so long, it's hard to let it go. But eventually you need to let it go because the only thing it's doing is hurting you. It's not helping you.
Yep.
And if you want to get off all these medications, different medications and stuff, you're gonna have to stop doing the things that is aiding to your problem. But in some cases, some of us, a lot of this stuff is hereditary.
It is.
A lot of things are hereditary. And if you are a Ladies Den fan and you've been watching us, you will know that we have talked about this on the show several times about knowing your family's history.
Yep.
Knowing your family's history, you got to know what your mama had, your daddy had, your daddy, mom and daddy, and your mama, mom and daddy, because you don't know how those things, and a lot of these diseases, y'all, they do skip generations.
Yeah.
They do skip generations. So, you know, you might have some things, but your kids might have the other things that your mama had.
Right. It's still there. It's still present.
Yeah, and you don't know because you don't know your family history. You know, I found out something that I got, like my body is producing like extremes of amounts of protein,
Okay.
and it could cause blocked arteries. Well, my mother had that.
Okay.
She had a heart attack because her
Right.
artery was blocked. That was years ago. So I was told to contact my family, my kids, my sisters, all of them, and let them know, hey, you guys need to go get tested. But I knew my mom's history. So when they told me, I was like, oh wow. Yeah, my mom had, okay. Yeah. So you have to know, man, you have to be proactive. And I tell people this all the time. That's men and women. I know people don't like the doctor. I know, but sometimes you have to go to figure out what's wrong.
You do.
And once you figure out what's wrong, the solution is not always medication. It could be something simple and just simply taking a certain food out of your diet. And just like the gentleman said earlier on the Ozempic video, we are eating all this processed food. And I promise you, I just told my wife when we buy our house next year, I want a garden. I want to start growing my own food. And surprisingly, I see this so much on Facebook now. People are growing their own vegetables. They're growing their own food because one, it's too expensive in a store. You know, you can go buy a pack of seeds for some tomatoes that's $1 and grow you some tomatoes that'll keep growing and keep growing and keep growing for $1. When you go now in the store, and one tomato is damn near $3.
Yep. And you don't even know what they use to
what's
grow
in it,
tomato.
what's in it, what's on it.
Yeah.
But I definitely plan to start growing my own food. I ain't no spring chicken. I'm 53. I ain't no spring chicken.
It don't matter. Start
So
now.
you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I promise you, I say this all the time. If I knew then what I know now, I probably would have still done some of the things that I did, but I would have treated my body differently. Like I was very athletic. I played softball, I played volleyball, I was a cheerleader, and I ran track. I didn't worry about my body back then. I was young. I was invincible, girl. I was running 880s, 440s, jumping hurdles. I mean, I was doing it all. But now when I get out the bed, my knees cracking.
Baby.
And everything is cracking and you know, it sound like the Tin Man. I need some oil.
Cracking and hurting.
You okay? But when we're younger, man, we don't worry about that. We don't think about the long effects of what these things are going to do to our body. You know, and especially when you're athletic, people think, okay, well, she's athletic and she's working out, but yeah, honey, them knees still bending, them arms still bending, them bodies still bending, and we definitely wasn't doing it the right way.
But you know what the difference is if you think about it? We grew up on homegrown food.
We did. Our
bodies, when I think about it now, when you talk about having a garden was normal back when we were growing up.
Yeah.
My grandmother and my sisters all had something. Everybody had a piece of something and they would trade with whoever had the fruit, whoever had the vegetables, whoever had one of my aunts and her husband had the hogs. So, and the cows. So we get our meat. Once they went to go take the animals to the plant, the
To the
process,
slaughterhouse.
we got
Yeah.
meat from them. It
Yeah.
wasn't about going, and we didn't, the processed food was there, but we didn't eat it. McDonald's was a treat.
Yes.
Now McDonald's is
It's dinner.
every day.
It's every day.
So now we got, like he said, you can see a lot of kids on the playground. On the Ozempic video, he was saying he takes his son there, and you see all these kids. They big, heavy set kids.
Yeah.
They babies, but it's because what they growing up on and what we grew up on,
Right.
is two different things. So it's only right for us to be the generation to start back with the gardens, because that's what we grew up on.
We did. And again, like you said, like McDonald's, it was a treat. Like we got McDonald's, we got Burger King. If we got an A on our report card,
Yes.
or we got a good letter from the teacher coming home saying, oh, we were good today. We did an excellent report. That's when we got McDonald's. And I tell this story all the time. Like my kids didn't grow up on that, because my mom cooked and I cooked.
Right.
And I would ask my kids if they want McDonald's or Burger King, and they'd be like, Mom, we want some chicken. We want some chicken. And they didn't eat that because I didn't give it to them.
Right.
Now, every now and then, they like me. They like their mama. They love pizza. Every now and then, they will want some pizza. But to really eat like McDonald's and Burger King, I didn't give my kids that, especially when they were younger. Now, when they became teens and they were working their little part-time job, y'all can eat what y'all want. But they didn't do that. And even if I wanted to give it to them for a treat, they didn't want that. They wanted some rice, some gravy, some chicken. They wanted real, home cooked food. So, and that's the thing. But you can't really get mad, or you can't really say anything about it, because a lot of times you have working parents that don't have time to really cook like that. The daddy working, the mama working, the oldest child taking care of the younger kids, and they're not giving them the proper things that they need to eat correctly. And then to go back to the processed food, even when the food was processed back then, they weren't putting as many chemicals in the food like they're doing now.
Right.
It's almost like they making food. I don't even want to eat some of the food because I don't even know if it's real anymore.
And because I've seen videos, and it's scary as I don't know what, where they are making the food out of, it's plastic
rice.
The way that they do it and the chemical they put it in, by the time they finish stirring it, I saw somebody make a head of lettuce out of some plastic. And I was like,
and did you see them make the eggs?
I didn't see them make the eggs.
Girl, wait, I'm gonna have to look this up. Let y'all see what y'all eating. So you have to be careful of what y'all really have to be careful. Hold on.
While you looking for that, I gotta give a shameless plug real quick to a young lady. Her mom is a friend of mine, but this is Georgia's youngest farmer. Her name is May Johnson.
You go, little mama.
She has been, her grandmother is the one who got her into doing gardening and stuff. And her parents was like, okay, you want to do it? Let's do it. And she has a little talk show and everything, but she has food available. And I keep saying I'm gonna go and buy, whatever for her. She has a beehive, like she has it all. So you can go there and go grocery shopping, basically.
And where is she?
Her farm. She's in Georgia. Hold on, let me see.
We need to find her and go over there and do our show.
Hold on. Fascinated. Gonna raise mom Ursula. There she is. Let me see. Hold on. I forget where they are. They're in Atlanta. Okay, so this is the name of the farm. Agro Culture. They're in Southwest Atlanta.
Okay.
So we can definitely
we might want to try to reach out.
I hit her mom up and let her know. Because I had been saying I was going to go over there, but then I started moving around and it just did not happen. So this is her website. She's been on Good Morning America and all kinds of stuff. But I mean, we could definitely make that happen. But she is
that would be awesome.
Farmer. Who is it? Hey, Joyce.
Okay, look at this. Let me see if I can. I want y'all to see this. Hold on. Look. Can you see it?
Girl, what the hell?
They're making the fake eggs. Wait, hold on. Let me fix you now. So be careful of the eggs that you buy. And I don't know what's in that water that's making it solid.
I was about to say, what?
And they're just shaking it around. Now watch when he pulls it out on his hand. They're making fake eggs. So that's one. Let me show you another one. When I saw that, that's why I don't eat eggs to this day. I don't eat them no more because I don't know what's fake and what's real. But
I started buying eggs from like people that have chickens. I started buying from them.
There's a guy down the street from us who has a farm and he sells them. That's the only way I would eat them, straight from a chicken, because the brown eggs. But it is, girl, let me tell you something. Hold on. This is the other one. Now this one. Hold on. Let me see if this will. See if this is it. Like, and so the eggs, the rice, the lettuce, like they're making all this stuff and it's fake. It is fake.
That's so scary.
Fake. And it's so scary. Yes, it's scary because you don't know who to get, like if what you're buying is real, like how do you know whether it's real or not, whether it's fake or not? Oh, it's taking a minute to come up. I don't know why it's taking so long. But hold on. And this is why we have to be careful about what we eat, y'all. We just have to. We need to start growing our own stuff. We're going to shut some of these stores down with putting all this fake stuff in there.
We need to do it. We're going to have to do it. Well, I found the one with the cabbage, too.
So you've been injured in a recent car accident and you want to get a major check.
We don't want to know about that, sir.
Thank
you. Thank you. All right.
Hi friends, உங்க எல்லாருக்கும் என்னுடைய பணிவான வணக்கங்கள்.
உலகத்தில்
ப்ராடக்ட் வந்தாலும் யூட்டிலிட்டி ப்ராடக்ட் வந்தாலும் மக்களால் அதிகமாக பயன்படுத்துகிற ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் வந்தாலும் சைனீஸ்க்கு மூக்குல வேர்த்துரும், இம்மீடியட்
That is
பண்ணிடுவாங்க.
crazy.
சரி, சாதாரண கன்சியூமர் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ்ல தான் அப்படி
I
பண்றாங்க.
want to know what's in that water.
தான் அப்படி
What is
பண்றாங்கன்னா,
that water?
இப்ப அவங்களுடைய
Might not be
நரி
water.
தந்திரத்தை பயன்படுத்தி ஈட்டபிள்ஸ்லயும் இந்த மாதிரி
Look at that.
டூப்ளிகேட் ப்ராடக்ட், டியூபியஸ் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் பண்றதுக்கு அவங்க முன் வந்துட்டாங்க. வெஜிடபிள்ஸ்ல எல்லா கடைகள்லயும் ரொம்ப ஃபேமஸா இருக்கிற 4-5 ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ்ல இந்த கேபேஜ்னு சொல்ற கோசும் ஒன்று. அது செடியில வளர்ந்துதான் நம்ம வீட்டுக்கு வருதுன்னு நம்ம நினைச்சிட்டு இருந்தா, இனிமே அந்த ஐடியாவை மாத்திக்கங்க. சில கெமிக்கல்ஸ பயன்படுத்தி வீட்லயே சின்ன 4 தகர டப்பாவை வச்சு சில ப்ராசஸஸ பண்ணி உண்மையான செடியில அந்த காயை அறுத்துட்டு வந்தா எப்படி இருக்குமோ அந்த லெவலுக்கு டூப்ளிகேட்டா இவங்க பண்றாங்க. 100 ஒரிஜினல் கோஸோட இது ஒரு 50 காய் வச்சா
And they gonna cut it.
கடவுள்
It's
உட்பட
gonna look just like
யாராலையுமே கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியாது
regular
என்பதுதான் உண்மை.
cabbage.
அதை நீங்களே இந்த வீடியோவில்
Oh,
பாருங்க.
girl.
ஜாக்கிரதையா இருங்க நண்பர்களே.
You know, you got to find that rice one, Nisa. The
Let's
fake
see.
rice. It is.
Oh, look,
They
it
was
popped
making that
up.
from plastic. You know, but they want to say that we got to stop feeding these kids processed food and stuff like that. But what you can do is put some gardens in these schools. Yes, this right here.
Plastic and paper.
Making rice.
Yes, good.
Plastic used to make rice. And he's just standing there putting plastic in the machine. Look at that. And look at him. He ain't got no clothes on, no shoes. And you know, they do all this stuff to the American people because we allow it. We allow it. And let me tell you something, and don't y'all come for me. I am not a Trump fan, but one thing that Trump said, we can make our own stuff. We don't have to buy nothing from China. Girl, look at this. Look at that. Look at that. They stretch it out in them little things and cut it to make rice. And look at him. He ain't got no clothes on. He just looks mad. And then they sell pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds of that rice to America.
And we buy it. And we eat it.
And we don't know what we eat.
We have no idea.
We have no clue what we eat. They're making eggs, they're making cabbage, they're making fake rice. Who knows what else is fake? Especially, have you seen that video, the one with the chicken where they pumping all that stuff in the chicken, making it big?
I haven't seen the video, but I know they doing it. Because just like they have cows on the assembly line, you know, to do whatever. I wouldn't put it past them to do something to the chickens.
But did you see the video where the men was having sex with the cows?
God, I don't want to. No.
They was having sex with cows.
That is not
They was going down from one cow to the next.
po cows. It take a human to fuck some shit up. Like seriously, we just because I mean it was some doggone it was a guy, polo guy. He looked so strung out, but is this guy that kept getting arrested for having sex with his horse, and he kept going back to the horse, kept getting arrested, kept going. It's like, sir, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
But here's the thing.
It take a human to fuck some shit.
We don't. Oh, this might be it right here.
These dudes will put their thing in anything. Don't make no doggone sense.
Girl.
But it's whole
here's the thing. So
it's a whole world out there that they be doing shit with animals though.
So, but why, then we drinking milk from these cows? Like,
yeah.
I don't even drink milk no more. I don't
drink
like
regular milk anymore. I do almond milk and oat milk.
Well, yeah, almond milk and oat milk is what I drink now, but a regular milk, I don't drink it anymore because like
I can't drink regular milk.
What?
Long time ago, it used to be the healthy option to a certain extent. Now, no. Because that's why the guy said we have. Did he say he didn't say a dirty pool? He said we start out with dirty something. Basically, he was saying our foundation is now dirty.
Yes.
You can't even start with the cows and the stuff that the farmers are growing anymore because now that is tainted.
Right.
The cows are tainted. The crops that's supposedly feeding America are tainted. Now we see it's not all the crops that's feeding America. We got stuff coming over here that's fake. And America is all for it.
And again, I say this. Again, I'm gonna tell y'all, don't come for me. But again, I agree with what Trump said. This was years ago when he was running for president.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, and he didn't have to say this because if you know your history, we are the richest country in the world. There is no way that we should be buying from other countries.
No, it shouldn't be.
We have our own stuff.
We got enough farms and farmers to have them supply what all we need. But they were fucking with the farmers for a long time.
A long time. But when Trump got in office, he was trying to make it where though we didn't have to buy from China. We didn't have to buy from Taiwan. It's right here in America. We got it. There is no way that we should be buying stuff from China. We should be buying stuff from these other countries. We have our own warehouses. We have our own farms. We got our own all. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Right. Why are we buying from other people?
So when we buy from these
what we already have.
But when we buy from these other countries and these other people, this is when we put these things into our systems because we buying food from them. It ain't real.
Mm-hmm.
They're just making whatever they want because they know the American people gonna do what? We're gonna buy it. Then we're gonna do what? We're gonna eat it.
We are the Mikeys of the world. Remember that commercial? He likes it. Hey, Mikey. Let's let Mikey eat it.
Right. Mikey,
that's America.
He eat anything.
We are the Mikeys of the world, for real.
But what we have to do, y'all, as an American people, we have to stop letting the government just tell us anything and we just go with it.
Yeah.
We have to do things that what's right. And the bottom line is that it ain't gonna never change because we always got somebody that's gonna try to beat the system.
Always.
Or somebody that's gonna always try to do something to beat the system. Always. And that's why we have these people that's taking this Ozempic that are getting sick, that are dying because they're not diabetic. And they shouldn't be taking this particular medication. We have to get off of that because we see somebody on a movie or something and she's nice, she's got a nice body, she's just, and we want that body. So we want to try to do anything that we can to look like those people. We shouldn't want to look like those people. We should only want to look like ourselves. We should only want to be ourselves. I can't express that enough. God made you for a reason. There is nobody out there like you. Somebody could look like you, maybe favor you a little bit, because they say everywhere around the world, everybody got a twin. Yeah. But there's still something different about that person that's different about you.
Yep.
And we got, man, let me tell you something. We got to stop letting this government do this to us.
We do.
They're doing it. They're scaring people every day because they're coming out with all this lab-made stuff.
Yep.
All this stuff was made in the lab. Then they come out with the monkeypox and the bird flu.
Swine flu.
How can a person get something that was for an animal? Make it make sense to me.
It's in the food.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
It don't make sense.
And they can't make it make sense. And now you got a vaccine for that. So what? Huh?
Right. This is coming out. But oh wait, we got a vaccine for it. How you got a vaccine for it? What is it? You already got a vaccine for it.
Because in the midst of putting this disease out there, they're working on a vaccine, or they done worked on a vaccine. See, they done worked on everything. They done worked on the disease and the vaccine. So once they put the disease out there, now you got a vaccine. But keep in mind, look at this though. How many millions of people died before they came out with the vaccine?
A lot.
And then it was a vaccine that wasn't approved by the Food and Drug Administration.
Because the people had already died. So they already knew as soon as they said, we got a vaccine, everybody was going to flock to it. They didn't care if it had been approved by anybody. They were just like, well, my so-and-so just died. Give me the shot. I was like, I'm good. And I caught it twice. I'm like, whatever.
I had it twice too. Almost died, honey. I was about to die up in there. You hear me?
Oh, okay. I didn't. Well, the second time was a bit much. I don't know if I almost died exactly, but I know I do know whatever that's, and I don't even know if they had a name for the second round that came. But I know the first time I had it, it felt like the flu. The second time I had it, it literally attacked my skin and stuff. Like, not only was I crazy congested, but it's like certain parts of my body just kind of started, I don't know, doing something weird. It was so weird. So very weird. My body odor changed. Like, you know how you have a certain smell that changed. Like, it's so weird. Girl, my hair stopped growing in the personal areas. I used to be, I knew once a week I was gonna have to shave somewhere. That shit stopped growing.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not normal. But anyway, yeah, that's all done in the lab, child.
It is. And then they had the big monkeypox. Everybody was like, and you ain't hear about it no more.
Ebola is gone. What happened to Ebola?
But guess what? When Ebola came out, wasn't nobody wearing no damn mask.
No.
We
didn't start wearing masks until COVID.
But where is it though? What happened to it? It just died. What happened to it?
It's in the test tubes in the lab at the CDC. Same people that we look to get our information from. It's all one big racket. I feel like we are literally, truly in the Matrix. Like, it's just shit happens, and then you just kind of look and go, okay, what else?
Yeah,
What else y'all got planned for us? Because
that's exactly what it is. Because it's like everything was just fine. Then all of a sudden, COVID, and you got millions of people dying. I'm in Texas. They got refrigerated trucks with bodies in them because the hospital can't. They ain't got no room.
Yep.
You got doctors and nurses. We laying on the floor because we can't take no break. We can't. We tired. Wearing masks and stuff so much to the prints are in our face.
Crazy.
Closing down the kitchen because they need the freezers for the dead bodies. You can't eat in a hospital. You couldn't drink in a hospital. You couldn't even open a container in the hospital.
That's crazy.
But it's the government. And the government, as long as we continue to do the things we're doing, like taking Ozempic when we're not diabetic. As long as we keep doing things like that, because the celebrities are putting it out there. See, the celebrities got money. That's what y'all need to think about. They got money. So they take Ozempic and they get sick. They got money to have surgery. They get the best doctors, the best surgeons, the best. You ain't got that. You ain't got that. So stop following these people. Do your research. Do your research. My wife has made me a researcher. Somebody would tell me something. I'd be like, okay, well, I'll check it out. But now I don't care if you tell me about a restaurant. Okay, where's that? What's the name? Okay, I'm checking it out. Restaurant, hotel, school, clothing store, shoe store, whatever. I am researching it now. I am checking it out because I want to know for myself.
Exactly.
Because you have some American people that find out stuff, but they don't care. They're still going to do it. They're still going to go. They're still going to. And it's just how y'all going to get killed one day.
Yep.
Because somebody said, oh, girl, they got something going. Oh, they giving away this and they go. Okay, you're going to go right down there. And that's where, you know what? Bam. Everything gone. Blew up everything.
Yep. That's true.
And that's why these people are keeping tabs on you. They're keeping statistics. Do y'all remember that day when everybody's cell phone got this message from the government? How the hell they get my number? Y'all remember that? Do you remember that? When everybody got that text from the government. Yeah. Everybody got that. Everybody got it. So that lets you know right there. They're keeping tabs on the American people. They keep tabs on, though. They put y'all in a frenzy. We ain't have no gas. Y'all really think they have no gas?
Girl.
Y'all really think that? Y'all really thought they have no more gas. Y'all out there filling up your tanks, filling up gas cans, and fear. The government loves to put fear in the American people, and y'all fall for it all the time.
Because they all about making, it's always a dollar bill somewhere in there. Because then you got, everybody went and got gas, and then, turn around, oh, we ain't going to have that much food. What did everybody do? Go to the grocery store and buy up everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But think about, y'all got to think back to how, y'all got to pay attention to what the government doing. Because remember when Atlanta had that snowstorm and they had people stuck on the highway for days?
Yes, I remember.
Do y'all not know Atlanta knew that was going to happen?
They knew and they didn't do anything about it.
They didn't do nothing about it. They had people out there with babies in the freezing cold, no food, no diapers, no clothes, no nothing.
They knew it was coming and they decided not to act until it was actually
happening. Until it happened.
Because I was out in it and I was, I just happened, as the Lord would have it. I was supposed to have been in Alpharetta And at the last minute, my project assignment changed and I was in College Park. And at the time I lived in Atlanta on Metropolitan Parkway Southwest. So that means I was around the corner from my house. It started snowing. I ended up behind a salt truck. The salt truck it was already snowing. The roads were already freezing over. Then the salt truck decide to put them out. It was too late.
Yeah, it's way too late.
It was too late. They should have been out. And I was working at a school, doing some sort of a video project at a school. By the time me and my colleague went out to our cars, all the cars were covered with snow. Do you think the bells rang for the kids to get out? No, nothing was happening.
First of all, the kids shouldn't have even been in school because
they shouldn't have been.
It was the night before.
We were out there.
We were out there. We almost got stuck in it. We were at that time. V and I had owned our own doctor's office, so we were close. She was in there, and I was like, "V, it's snowing outside. We need to go." She's like, "Yeah, I said, let's go." We left. The truck spinning and all that. We almost went into a ditch, but luckily we weren't far from home. So we were able to make it home. But her sister got caught in that mess with a newborn baby.
Yeah. I knew a lot of folks that got stuck.
You know, y'all, we have to prepare ourselves. You know, people, you know, I was telling one of the ladies at Piedmont, where the assignment that I'm doing right now, I was telling one of the ladies, we were talking about building a house and all this kind of stuff. We're going to have a bunker in ours. We will have an underground.
Smart. That's smart. That's smart to have.
We have been talking about, we will have an underground bunker. And I think anybody can afford that can afford to have one underneath their home, they need to get it.
Need to have one and have it fully stocked.
Everything.
Yep.
With everything in it. Making sure everything works. You got lights, you got water, you got food, you got blankets, clothes, medication, everything. Just like a little apartment.
Yeah.
And always have you an escape plan out that bad boy, because your house could always fall on top of that bunker. You still need to have an escape route to get out of there.
To get out, yep.
But I think everybody needs one. The way this world is going today, you know, and then they were talking about, if you guys can remember around the pandemic, they were talking about for people that had the vaccine, it's going to be on one side of the world, and the people who didn't is going to be on the other side of the world. And if you don't know, there is a movie on Netflix, and it is called, is it Contagion? Contagion. I want to say it's Contagion, but when I find it, I'm going to put it on the Ladies Den page. Excuse me. It is a movie about that. And it was made here in Atlanta. And it is a movie where these people were catching all this stuff and they got vaccinated and they turned into these crazy people. And Atlanta divided them. If you had the vaccine and all, you were on this side. If you didn't, you were on this side. And you could not go to this side. And I don't care if your mama was over here, your daddy, and you over here. It was a Contagion. Let me see real quick before we get out of here. Let me make sure that's the name of that movie. And it's on Netflix. And it tells you, Contagion, I think that is it. Let me see. Wait, hold on. Yep, Contagion. This is it right here.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's what I'm pulling up too.
Yep, and so it's on Netflix. When I tell you, it was made in Atlanta, and anybody, y'all need to watch this movie, Contagion. Y'all need to watch it. And it tells you about the pandemic and things that's going on in the pandemic and how the government is dividing their people. Yep, that's it. How the government is dividing their people from the people who have been treated and the people who have not been treated. They're
Mhm.
dividing them. Yep, that is it. It is
Okay.
so good. Y'all need to watch it. Anybody out there definitely need to watch this movie. And just make sure that, when the government is putting something out there, y'all just do your research. Just do your
Yeah.
research. Because everything that the government puts out there is not always true.
It's not.
It's not always true.
We're not. Oh, girl, we
And
done
nine times out of 10, you got somebody out there that's telling you it's not true, but y'all listen to the government because you're afraid of the government. But the main thing is they're trying to make as many people in this world as extinct as possible.
That's possible. Yep.
And they did a great job with COVID because millions and millions and millions of people died.
They really did.
They did a great job with COVID. And mark my words, there will be another pandemic. What?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know yet, but it will be.
For sure, for sure.
And let me say this too. Don't stop what you were doing during COVID, meaning, and for me, I didn't understand how people didn't have these essential items in their home. When COVID happened, you had nothing because everybody's going out and buying these things. Lysol, toilet paper, paper towels, air freshener like Lysol spray, disinfectants, things like those are things you should have in your house on a regular.
Exactly.
On a regular. Now, when COVID happened, there was a couple of things that we doubled up on was like toilet paper and paper towels. And when I tell you we didn't have to buy toilet paper for almost 2 years, that's how much toilet paper we had.
Mm-hmm. Everybody needs to be very vigilant.
Very vigilant. And look, the other day I was getting ready to wash dishes and we didn't have no dishwasher. I said, B, wait a minute, let me go downstairs. I said, I don't know the last time we ran out of dishwasher liquid. What?
Yeah.
Went downstairs and when they had, I said, oh, no, we got to do better. We got to do better. We don't never run out of this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
But I said that to say, you need to have these things in your home on a regular 4 and 5. We keep 4 and 5 bottles of like dishwasher liquid. We keep, you got to keep these things in. And it's not even just having it for a pandemic. Like you could go to work and come home tonight and tonight the whole world shut off.
Could
What
be.
you gonna do?
That's true.
What you gonna do? Because you can't get back outside.
That is true.
What are y'all gonna do? Because you can't get back outside. That pandemic should at least taught you guys something. Y'all need to stock up. Stock up.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we don't know what's going on while we sleeping. We don't know what's going on in the world while we sleeping. You might wake up and you cannot leave out your house.
Exactly.
What are you going to do?
Exactly. Are you ready?
That's it right there. Are you ready? Well, we done gave y'all as much information as we can give y'all. Stop taking that damn Ozempic if you're not diabetic.
Please.
You're messing up your bodies. You're messing up your internal organs. Because the people who are taking it for diabetes, it's a possibility that they're messing up those things too, but then they need it. You don't need it.
Yeah.
Stop taking those things.
Yep.
Do your research. Stop eating the Twinkies. Stop eating the brownies. Take you a walk. You have steps in your house, just walk up and down your steps.
Walk up and down the steps. Yep.
We have a lot of things at our reach and we don't even use it. Walk up and down your steps. Walk around your living room.
Mm-hmm.
Mom will walk up and down the hall every day, 30 minutes.
There you
every
go.
Day.
There you go. Yeah, shoot,
So
I'm
there
getting
are
ready
things that you can do.
to get on the call with my doggone trainer right now. Keep myself in check.
Keep yourself in check, y'all. Well, as always, y'all go check out that debate so y'all can tell me what happened, because I ain't watching.
I ain't watching it either.
But you know what? I kind of want to watch it, but then I don't want to watch it. Because I want to see how stupid Trump gonna make Biden look. I really do. But then I don't want to, because I don't want to hear the foolishness, because it's gonna be a lot of foolishness. That's all.
We'll see clips.
Yeah, we'll see clips.
All right, y'all.
But anyway, y'all, thank y'all for joining us in the den. Join us next week. I don't know what we're going to talk about, what's going on. We need to see. But, you know, as always.
Lady K, are you ready? Key, are you ready? You diva, let them know that you're ready.
It's Thursday night, they at it again. You got it locked into the ladies den. It's Lady K, Kiki too, plus the Bayou Diva. You know how they do. From breaking news to favorite foods. She was popping in the city, hot topics too. Advice for your issues if you need to grab a tissue. Just wait till a break, they may say something that'll fit you. Amazing guests live on set. You can laugh to your heart's content. They appreciate the love cause it's truly a blessing. My name's Saga Boss and I approve this message.
Ain't no room for hating. Enjoy the entertainment. You are locked in to the ladies' den. So there's no confusion. They love what they're doing. You are locked in to the ladies' den.
The Ladies Den, Thursday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell them Saga sent you.
Gotcha.
Bye.